Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning and it's week 2 on the Taster series. How are you all going? I hope you had a nice weekend. I know some of you will still be on that weekend. All right, so today on week 2, we're going to talk about nutrition, because without correct nutrition, you're actually never going to see those results that you want. And there's lots of factors why nutrition plays a very, very important role in your fitness, strength, and tone of not just your stomach muscles and for your body in general. So let's talk a little bit about, first, we're going to go over how hormones can affect your results, the best eating plans and food that you can eat for a flatter stomach and stronger muscles and increased tone. We're going to talk a little bit about food intolerances, protein, sugar, hormones. Okay, so we've got a lot of things, and I don't want to keep you all online for too long because I know you guys are all busy. Okay, so with the No More Mummy Tummy program, you'll get a 14-day meal plan, and that includes various meals as options. So you might have several breakfast options, several lunch options, etc., and the same with dinner. And we also have a shopping plan for those foods. But what it's doing, especially at this time where we can't get out to the shops as much, it's going to give you an idea of what you need to be and should be included in your food through the day. Now, what I also need to say here is nothing is out of bounds, okay? That's how I live. You know, I have chocolate, I have a piece of cake if I want to, I have a glass of wine at night. You know, it's all about moderation. And if we can do everything in moderation, that includes our exercise and eating, then we are going to see results. And after 25 years in the fitness and health industry, this is the best way, because we have to set something up which we can maintain forever. No fad diets, no strict eating. We have to follow a nutrition plan that works for you and your family. So we all vary a little bit different. So the way I eat is going to be different, a little bit different, especially to my husband. He eats very different than me, different metabolism, things work for him, different. Same with my next client who comes in, and it's all about finding your own balance, and there's ways we can do that, and that's what I'm going to hopefully help you with over these next couple of weeks here in the Taster series and over on the No More Mummy Tummy Challenge. Right. So a couple of rules, what we need to try and make sure we are doing with our own diets. Processed foods. Let's start to eliminate those. Sugar. Okay. Probably smaller meals. We need to increase protein, and we need to watch things that trigger our adrenals, especially if you've got preschoolers. Okay, so when and before our youngest is at school, we're generally in a postnatal depleted state and adrenal fatigue, really, but it's postnatal depletion. Okay, so there's different words for it, but when we're in postnatal, it's postnatal depletion. All right. So minimal processed foods. Let's get those processed foods out. Let's try and think of natural foods, foods that we make at home, potatoes, kumara for your carbohydrates. Go pasta once a week. You can still have rice as well, but think more so along the lines of vegetables, less pastries. Okay, less cereals also in the morning. Try and think whole foods for in the morning. You can make your nut mueslis, you can have smoothies, you can have eggs, perfect. If you are not intolerant to gluten, have some bread with that also. Okay, so again, just touching on that, you can have carbohydrates, absolutely. But you know, what I tend to say to my clients is have 2 pieces of bread a day. So choose where you want to have those. You can have them in the morning if you want to, or you can have them at lunch, or again, you can have your bread at dinner. So a typical day, let's think of an ideal day. I'm actually more of a sweet person, but if you can, if you can start your day off savoury, you're less inclined to crave sugars later on through the day. So if you can start off savoury, you've not started that sweet tooth first thing in the morning, all right, so that helps you for later on. So if you can, eggs on toast for breakfast, ideal, okay? Or, you know, on the days that we're not, go for a smoothie or a different type of muesli, whichever you want to do. And again, natural made mueslis, if you can, are better for you. So try and do that. And let me think what I've just, okay, morning tea. Now, can you guys who are watching this, what I wanted you to do is, and I should have probably started off with it, is can you put your goals, can those of you who just, if you want to lose weight, can you put that in? Can you let me know if you're breastfeeding, etc. Just to, let me know if you're happy with your weight and you just want to tone. Can you put all those answers down, because then I can help you and we can program the challenge a little bit more accordingly. So for breastfeeding mums, and I would say this is the only time you guys may need a morning snack. Okay, not necessarily, you don't have to need one. Most of us have got plenty of fat stores to keep up our breast milk. Okay, we have, unless again we are under the 50 kilo mark. So that's the tipping point. I think it's around about 50 to 52 kilos where you start to come into this where you can't produce enough milk. But also in saying that, if your fatigue levels are shooting up, you can also see, you know, you can start to feel a decrease in milk. But generally, losing your weight back to a healthy norm is not going to affect your breastfeeding supply. Okay, so if you can pop all your goals down. So if you're breastfeeding, definitely have a morning tea. Okay, lunchtime, this is definitely a big drop down for mums, because often this is where we're busy running around after toddlers, making their lunch, clearing up, playing games with them. Lunch, you must make sure you have a good protein source, or when you come into that afternoon, you are going to be craving sugar. We need to stay away from sugar, and for a couple of reasons as well, which I'll go into. So for your lunch, for protein, try and make sure you've got your tuna, your chicken, dinner leftovers. That's what I'm tending to do a lot at the moment. I've got a beef curry up there waiting for me for my lunch today, with a tiny little bit of rice and the curry's there. So leftovers are great. If you've not had eggs in the morning, have your eggs for lunch. Okay, so if you don't get that protein in and have carbs, your blood sugars are going to start to spike in the afternoon. And each time they start to spike, what do? Crave the sugar. All right, now we need to stay away from sugar because it starts to again affect our adrenals. But sugar, again, will eventually convert into fat. And sugar tends to go around the abdominal area. Okay, big factor. Reduce your sugar as much as you can. Again, that's why we discussed hydration last week, because keeping on top of your hydration levels reduces tiredness and stops you from craving the sugar. All right. So coming into dinner, another little, I don't want to give you, say, rules, more so guidelines, is if you can all eat now around 6 o'clock, ideal. Okay, 5:30, 5:30 till 6 o'clock, ideal times. That's when we're hungry. That's where we need to be eating. If we start eating later than that, we can start snacking. Okay, and again, blood sugar's spiking the whole time. Kids are really hungry at that time, so if we can all sit down and eat those meals, you're less likely to start to want extra snacks later on and going into that. So dinner time, if you can, at the moment while we're all in lockdown, if you can hold up slightly earlier dinners, 6 o'clock's a great time to be eating. Also remember too about your hydration, so try and have that glass of water before each meal and snack throughout the day. Okay, so that's sort of your basic day. Yes, there's a nose. Yes, you can have a couple of pieces of chocolate. Yes, of course, you can have coffee. Do remember though, for breastfeeding mums, I did stick with coffee when I was breastfeeding. I think I did do a little bit of decaf, not much. Caffeine and vitamin C are the only known things, and this is from the latest studies, and I was talking to one of our lactation guru specialists here on the shore, and caffeine can make your baby more fussy. So if you've got a fussy baby, it can increase that. Vitamin C, high doses of vitamin C, so you need to watch this possibly also at the moment, can just give them a little bit of a red bottom and increased nappy rash. So there are two things that you do want to watch out for if any of you, I know some of you will still be breastfeeding, for breastfeeding mums. So just think about that. But everyone else, yes, you can have coffee. Yes, you can have a couple of pieces of chocolate, not too many. This is what I was saying about moderation, not having a chocolate bar every night, or having a couple of pieces every night, or when we want to. If you can't control that for the moment, then don't have it. Okay, small glass of wine, I have probably that every other night, every night at the moment. That's fine as well. It's moderation, healthy moderation. That's what we're aiming for. Fruit and vegetables, definitely. Let's concentrate more on those vegetables, which again is something that I need to work up. 3 to 4 vegetables a day. Generally, we get most of that in at dinner time, and a couple of pieces of fruit. I've just had some fruit for breakfast. I'll probably have a mandarin later on in the afternoon. All right, what I do want you to be aware of also is when I just spoke about the postnatal depletion, when we are sleep deprived and in our postnatal stage, so we have different stages. First 12 months is early postnatal. Then you have the 2-year sort of mid-postnatal range, which is where I like to call it, where you're getting better but not quite, because we're often thinking about having another pregnancy as well. So we're sort of in a mind where we're building towards that, but we're still sleep deprived, we're still running around after a toddler, we're still in recovery, we're trying to do a lot of our exercise, but often we keep getting these knockbacks. Okay, so that's another phase, and then we've got your 2 to 5 years postnatal before everybody, your youngest, is at school, a different postnatal phase. Now, throughout that time, our bodies can be, because of sleep deprivation and what sleep deprivation does to our hormones, we can be more prone to food intolerances. Now, when you have a food intolerance, what often happens is your stomach bloats. And when your stomach bloats, your brain can't connect to those transverse abdominal muscles, and this area is getting stretched out all the time. So it becomes very, very hard to heal your diastasis and improve your core strength if you've got a food intolerance. So the food intolerance will go. Again, it could be just something that we're slightly more irritated to when we've got this hormone imbalance. So foods, again, sugar, gluten, and dairy can be the main culprits. So what I want you to do, if you think you have a food intolerance, is when you wake up in the morning, have a look at your stomach muscles, have a look at your tummy, see how it feels. Is it soft? Then after breakfast, does it feel the same? It's going to be a little bit bigger, but does it feel hard? Does it feel uncomfortable? How's your digestion feeling? Okay, just start to be aware of different foods. If you've noticed that you've had, a bloated stomach feeling the last, couple of months, it can definitely be something diet related. So we need to start to strip some of those culprits, the main culprits. We start to need to reduce them from your diet to see if we can decrease that feeling of uncomfortable in our abdomen. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions after watching this. So remember, in the Normal Mummy Tummy Challenge, everything's set out. You've got a 14-day plan with so many breakfast, snack options, lunch options, all in this plan. And we can work it around all different cultures, okay? So everybody eats different, I know that. We've got vegetarians as well, and you just swap out the proteins, etc. for a non-meat option. We can swap rice in the morning, etc., you know, and change it all like that. So it's very, very adaptable to everybody's eating requirements. And of course, you've got the shopping list in there, which at this moment in time, with it being in lockdown, we're eating a little bit differently and we can't get to the supermarkets as much. So let's use this also as an easier way to help us if you are snacking a lot. Let's stop now going to the fridge. I've seen some memes about people going to the fridge all the time. Let's just pretend the fridge is not there. Glass of water if you think you're hungry, and let's try and stick to some meal plans. You know, we always want to get kids and babies into a routine. Let's try and do it a little bit more ourselves. And if we find we're getting bored, what you can do is put on a stretch and balance from the normal Mummy Tummy Challenge and do a few more exercises. Do your breathing exercises. Let's check your posture, and then that wanting to have something to eat goes away. Teas are great. Herbal teas are really good. So please let me know. I said it again. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll go through everything for you. I'll try and put some tips up today from what we've discussed in the video, because I know it's quite a lot. But again, I don't want you on here too long, but I want to give you as much as I can. All right, everybody. Keep doing those 2 exercises I showed you. I think I will go through another exercise with you guys tomorrow. And make sure you've signed up for the normal Mummy Tummy Challenge, because we do only have a set number of places. I can only take 300 people on the normal Mummy Tummy Challenge, and there's more than 350 of you in this. And we've already got the ones who have subscribed. So make sure you go and join. We're starting a week today. Go and sign up to the normal Mummy Tummy Challenge. You can start to prepare. All right, have a lovely day, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.